program, why the basic question is there, that why this lighting. The basic idea that if you see globally, can you please share, Rohit? Rohit, can you please,
Can you please say the slide?
Can you please share the screen, Rohit?
Sir, okay.
No, sharing मुझे देना अभी.
Sharing rights, Rohit, please give the sharing rights to Prakash ji. Yes, sir. Here you are.
So anyway, this program has been jointly arranged jointly with the ISLE and the ASSOCHAM. So this is the Indian Society of Lighting Engineers. What the aims and objectives is promoting the art, science, and practice of lighting technology, advancing education research in lighting technology, formulating lighting codes, guides, technical reports, cooperation with the Bureau of AIs, and providing guidance to young engineers for career improvement. We are closely associated with the Bureau of Indian Standards, Ministry of Power, Government of Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, and also Department of Science and Technology. ISLE works through different state centers, Calcutta State Center, Chennai, Delhi, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Mumbai. And then there is a provision of the local centers. Our different activities, if you see there, a lot of activities are there, including exhibitions, education, scholarship, lighting courses, standardization, and whatnot. If we consider the only ISA education, to ISLE, if you see from the history in the 1983 itself, when Jadavpur started their postgraduate program in lighting, it was the ISLE which it helped them in starting this one. Subsequently, even in 1988, the Manipal Institute, then subsequently in the Jadavpur University as the in the interdisciplinary forum in 2000, Bengal Engineering College in 2002, and also with the MIT School of Energy and Lighting Pune in 2007, the PG program was started it was with the help of ISLE. Then during the COVID also, ISLE has done a lot of work. We conducted e-certificate course in basics of lighting and also e-certificate course in lighting design. So in education, ISLE has got a big role. This is what our vision is there. Vision of ISLE is the National Lighting Code, then National Scientific Lighting Center, Center of Excellence. Also, we try to promote the skill development. And this is what the basic idea. So we promote the PG, degree, diploma, certificate courses. And the main thing is the awareness program for students on energy saving and lighting. If you can see that this slide, ISLE in lighting education. So as I mentioned, starting from history, ISLE is actively involved in the lighting education. Our membership, of course, there are 5 grades of membership: institutional, fellow, member, associate, and student. These are the normal formal fees is there of different grade of the membership, annual and as well as the institute membership, land life membership. So this is what the ISLE is working there. We are also having a student chapter. There are 17 student chapters throughout the country with more than 1,000 students. And the basic idea is to bring awareness among the students about the lighting. Benefits, student chapter, they get the benefit that fixed visits, help in projects, placement, and discounts and event organized also. So with this, this is what our basic idea about ISLE. Then coming back to our subject, that why lighting education. So if you see the, globally, the lighting market is increasing there. And if you see the LED lighting market is the value of US dollar 2.5 billion 2020, which is going to be increased to US 12 billion by 2026. Market size is also around 75,000 INR. The organized sector, 65-35%. So this is what the basic idea. And if you see the Indian LED market 2021, so whatever is there, 50% is still being imported. So there is a need of more startups in the country in the lighting. So why the need of lighting education then? We come to this subject. So the important thing is there is a lack of awareness about energy efficient light sources, controls, pollution due to light, global problem, depletion of natural resources, pollution due to use of inefficient light sources, and there is an industry requirement of the qualified or the trained lighting professionals. So with that, if we develop, then there is a employment opportunities also uh, uh, for this one. So this is what the basic idea. So with this one now, I'm happy to introduce the speakers which are there today. So our first speaker is Mr. S. Chakravarti. Mr. Satyavrata Chakravarti is a lighting technology and educationalist and a technology expert. Uh, he was the vice president of the Bajaj Electricals and retired in 2019. He has got a 40 years of experience, out of it 11 years in the Bajaj Electricals, 4 years Surya Roshni, and 24 years in the Compton Views. He is a MTech in Applied Optics, BTech in Applied Physics, and BSc Physics honors, all from University of Calcutta. So with this long experience, he has got a lot of credits to his credit. Then he is the first chairman of LED chapter Elcoma. He also co-authored and panel member of National Lighting Code, which is there. He is also panel member of CI 161 2004. He represented India at Division 2 and Division 4 of CI. Then a lot of technical activities are there, including international forums. He was the keynote speaker at CIE conference Vienna, then panel member of CIE technical committee, and he also presented a number of papers on lighting. So with this, we welcome Mr. Chakravarti for this webinar. Our next speaker is Mr. Sudhir Patel. Sudhir Patel is the technocrat. He is a creative and experienced professional with a deep knowledge and broad experience of 25 plus years in product management and technology products and services. He is founder and CEO of Leap Infosys Systems, a convergent lighting controls and automation product company. He is also a life member of ISLE and also currently serving as honorary secretary by ISLE Pune local chapter. Before founding Leap Infosystems, Sudhir has two more startups to his credit, Gensoft Services and Qualicia Software. Currently at Leap, Sudhir has clear focus to drive the IoT wave for building and delivering convergent building management and lighting controls, automation technologies, and whatnot. So with this, we welcome Mr. Sudhir Patel. Our next speaker is Mr. Sudhir Abhijit Salunke. Mr. Abhijit Salunke, he is a principal lighting designer and college artist with the Buno Lighting Design and Untrick Studio. If you see, he is a lighting in college, 2 decades indoor and outdoor spaces for creating an immersive experience. As an artist, he is a number of presentations he has made. He is also a lighting designer. He has designed layout for spaces in India and abroad with creating customized luminaries. Then as far as his knowledge is concerned, he has got a deep knowledge about the film direction, lighting technology application, lessons in lighting online, lighting design, lighting workshop he conducted, Photographic Society of Pune, also the film appreciation workshop. So he's got a varied experience in the field of lighting and the creativity lighting. He has been recognized as the best recreational lighting design in architecture. As a lighting maker, he is a part of more than 12 architecture interior award-winning projects. So with this, we welcome Mr. Abhijit Salunke for this webinar. And our last this one speaker is Dr. Milind Pandey, who is the Pro Vice Chancellor of MIT World Peace University, Pune, India. Dr. Milind Pandey, having a number of awards and honors to his credit, presently he is Pro Vice Chancellor, MIT World Peace University, Pune, India, a dedicated professional with 28 years of academic experience, well known as an effective communicator with strong relationship management skills, authored a world-class textbook on mobile communications. Title is Next Generation Mobile Communications, published by McGraw-Hill Publication, published Apart from that, he published 50 plus research papers in international conferences and journals. He is also a PhD supervisor at various universities. He visited 15 plus foreign universities when collaborations. Convinced with the need of lighting education, Dr. Pandey is instrumental in starting first ever techno-managerial PG program in lighting technology and energy management way back in 2007 under MIT Group of Institutes. With this brief background, we welcome Dr. Milind Pandey. And with this, now uh, we welcome all the speakers once again and also the participants for this course. Now, I request Mr. Satyavrti Chakravarti to please share his views about the need of and potential for lighting education. Dr. Satyavrti Chakravarti.
Thank you. Can you give the share link?
Yes, Rohit, sharing.
Can you see the slide?
Yes, please.
Okay. Can you hear me properly? No?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
please. Carry on.
Thank you, and good evening to all of you. The subject what I am going to take today is the lighting education, because this is the subject today. Now, lighting education, before I start education, I just wanted to share one of my experience in my college. The first day in my college, my teacher asked me define definition. Nobody we could define. Then he told me to express unknown in terms of known is definition. And from there, I learned that the whatever you have to learn from the basics, and that should be the objective of the lighting education. Now, lighting has undergone a tremendous changes, so as lighting education. So this is the famous sculpture created by Albert, and when he lost his wife, went on to create this beautiful piece of artwork. It portrays the void and grief by giant hole in the center. When I look at the lighting, quality of the lighting education, especially after the solid state lighting, which is moving at a first space, I feel the same gap for that. So, what I am going to discuss, how this lighting education should be different from conventional lighting education after the advent of LED. LED is different from conventional lighting, and only similarity both converts electrical energy into light. LED look LEDs look different, manufactured differently, and above all, it is handled differently. It has given the new dimension, color dimming, color tuning, smart lighting, human-centric lighting. LED is an electronic light source, hence LED language is the hybrid of electronics and lighting. So it will be different from the conventional lighting. So to start off the lighting education, the student has to understand the lighting LED language. LED entered as energy saving alternative to conventional lighting. But now today, if we look that LED has gone beyond energy saving. Lighting a rich multidisciplinary field that is linked firmly to architecture, aesthetic, behavioral science, and information technology. Now, at the heart of this revolution is a tiny thing, that is the LED, and which produce the light with unprecedented efficiency that respect our body color, that respect our body clock. It has impact can be seen from technology to manufacturing to marketing to lighting design and application, product development, optics, photometry, intelligent lighting. It has added the biological effective lighting, circadian lighting design, form factors, circular economy, so many. So new technology is changing the way we light up our space. So lighting education address all these new aspects, which is the conventional lighting is different from the conventional lighting. And never before the designer had so many options available to them. Now, one of the important aspects of LED lighting is the color and chromaticity. Now, this we have to understand. This is the technically that what are the terms related to this spectral power distribution, color temperature, color rendering, chromaticity. Now, if we look back that pre-LED era, we are aware of this thing, and this is my guess that 95% people using SPD, color temperature 100%, chromacity 65%, but might be low. So the course address all these aspects and the meaning of this one, including the chromacity diagram and each and every part of the technical aspect. A typical data from the photometric data, you can find there are so many aspects of the color. So what is the meaning of it and how do you use it from the product development, design, or photometrics? And all these things are to be addressed. So the color, there are two parts. One is a technical part, another part is coming from the lighting design part. That color is a significant component today, and it cannot be perceived without daylight or artificial lighting. This is one of the magical colored effect of the daylight. This is a dramatical colored effect of the artificial light. So this color effect will be the part of lighting design, but the technical aspect need to be known to all the students who will go through this lighting education. Now, how color is used in the lighting application, I will give some example. One is for the beyond aesthetic. We will discuss this issue later on in little bit more. Let me take the pointer. We'll discuss this issue later on that little bit more. Then this is the aesthetic dimension of the lighting. Then this is the room. You can change the color as if you are changing the painting of the room without physically changing. Or now every city is competing with the other for the city marketing, and one of the important thing is to illuminate the highlight of the street, and that is the area the LED use. LED also used for the biological effective lighting with the different color at the different phases of the time. So there are different application of the color, aesthetic to biological effective lighting. Then it is necessary to understand the measurement. There are different metrics and there are different equipment are available for the measurement, and it needs to be understand the laboratory measurement, and there might be a specialization on the photometry and where the gonio-photometer photometric integrator are to be used for the measurement. The measurement is also applicable not only in the laboratory but also in the field to verify the lighting design, or some of the government tender whereas the lighting guarantee clause where measurement is mandatory. So measurement is one of the important aspects for the lighting, and then how to carry out this are to be addressed. Then there are different type of illumination matrix. We talk about the horizontal illumination, we talk on the vertical illumination. Then there are two new matrix. One is cylindrical illumination, another is the semi-cylindrical illumination, and it shows the equipment which can be used to measure. And these are the definition of the semi-cylindrical and cylindrical, where average vertical illumination over a cylindrical surface or semi-cylindrical surface. How to use it? Now, if you look at the latest European standard, requirement of cylindrical illumination is mentioned. The good visual communication and recognition require a different level of brightness on the object above all on people face. Even people space in which people are moving, this can be fulfilled by average cylindrical illumination. For the standing is 1.5 meter and for sitting 1.2, and this is the basic definition of cylindrical illumination, and the value specified 50 to 150 lux for the uniformity. So if you have a good semi-cylindrical illumination, this is the thing what you can see. And there are equipment are available to measure. So lighting design to create a brightness, these are the parameters to support the calculation. Then a lighting design can be worked out. Similarly, for the semi-cylindrical illumination, basically applicable for residential lighting, when you are walking and if the incoming man, there are three possibilities. He might be friendly, he might be indifferent, or he might be aggressive. In order to he belongs to which category, you have to observe his facial expression. You cannot make out. Now it is clear. So the facial recognition is a cylindrical illumination is important and that are to be taught, and there are some equipment required to how to use it that should be also the part of the lighting education. Then lighting design software. The professional lighting design rely on the lighting design software to calculate the lighting level for indoor, outdoor and roadway lighting, and to match with the national international standard, also address the aesthetic and often artistic expectation. First, it must be able to accurately predict the distribution of the light in an architectural environment, and then it will be secondly it should be projected with the rendering the what how it will look. So now there are different software are available for the lighting design: Dialux Evo, AGI 32, then Relux, then Lighting Reality. So this software should be the part of this thing. So then they should learn how to operate it and what are the advantage and the constraint of the software. These are to be known. So when they go back to their professional life, they will be more effective with a shorter time. So in addition to that lighting design software, there are so many other software will be also required, and this should be the part of the lighting, the 3D modeling. Even it is also required for the image software, Photoshop, and how it can be changed. So all these things should be the part of the lighting education so that they should have a thorough 360-degree knowledge. The people misunderstood the lighting calculation is the lighting design. Of course, there will be a lighting design separately, and this will be the, in addition to that, these are the software. Also, basic knowledge will be required. Now, one of the important thing is the glare. Let us look at that. This is the glaring sun for the glaring sunset for the driver. But if you look at this couple, this is the romantic sunset. So this is that glare free but gloomy. This is the thing glare free where glare is transformed into sparkling. So how to spark glare can be converted into sparkling and cheerfulness. That will be the part of the lighting design. Also, there will be a calculation for UGR and all other things to predict. But it all depends upon the imagination and creativity of the designer. But basic knowledge of understanding things should be provided. Lighting application, each lighting application has different objective. The healthcare lighting, what is your objective? To create a reassurance. You go to your house physician, you meet, he understand your problem, he write down the prescription. Before he takes medicine, you feel better because he has injected reassurance ambience. So how this reassurance ambience can be used in the lighting and how to create it. Similarly, for the retail lighting, that retail lighting, how the lighting should be generated for the impulse purchasing. You don't have the intention to purchase, you have a credit card, but the product is shown and it is illuminated in such a way that you get tempted to purchase. That is the impulse purchasing. That will be the part of the lighting design. Similarly, for the office lighting, instead of static lighting, dynamic lighting, human-centric lighting. For home lighting, that will be the personal preference of the hospital lighting. Now, there are code of lighting design practice are available for the different application. It should be part of this thing for the student to understand the different guidelines. After that, when they go to the profession, then they will be talking more on that, and they can use this knowledge to create a creative design. A lighting design is not good unless the occupants like it. Then it should also address the specialized lighting, like the sports lighting. The sports lighting, the lighting design should satisfy the conflicting lighting need of different group of observer, player, TV camera, spectators, umpire, or the official. So that calls for the special guideline. That should be the part of the lighting codes so that when the people go and design the sports lighting, he should not start from the beginning. He should have basic background to understand this one. Then there will be a special presentation of the architectural lighting, so I will not repeat that one. This is the lighting layer is the concept where the different lighting layer can be
बोला
created,
हाँ बोला
and one layer
हाँ
in
हाँ
one area you can use the different layer. Then,
वर्मा
if you look at the lighting, how it is changing, LEDification will change over to LED from the
कुछ
conventional lighting to
बहुत
intelligent
पहले
lighting to the human-centric lighting. So, human-centric lighting, it mimics the natural daylight, which drives out the bodily function. It enhances human performance. The most obvious effect of light in the human is the vision. That is a visual effective lighting. And biological effective lighting deals with the hormone, alertness, attention, fatigue. Human centric lighting is the combination of the visual effective lighting, biological effective lighting, and all these things, and this should be. Now, non-visual effect of light, and this is a very, very important standard. It needs to be studied and at the education level, because different people have the different idea on the human centric lighting, and this is the one of the important standard which should be studied, and then the people can get the correct idea about this one, and then how the natural light changes. Similarly, this the lighting can be changed, color tuning can be done for the human centric lighting. Then the technology. Today, the technology has revolutionized our world, day-to-day life. The photography, a fun. The payment through a banking app for the senior is the address, the memory problem, and the way of reading has changed. Now, if you look at the changes that it has changed the way we book the cab, it has changed the way we watch the movie. It has changed the way we shop. It has changed the way we read book. It has changed the way we talk. It has the way we order the food. So higher emphasis in comfort and also for the smartphone and app. So that will be also the part of the lighting, and this is because of the IoT, and which is an IoT device. Anything that has sensor attached to it and can transmit data from one object to another to the people with the help of the internet is known as an IoT device. There is an IoT expert. He will discuss at length on this aspect, but this will be the important issue for today's lighting. Even the occupancy sensor or a daylight sensor, or previously controlling the light with the voice used to be something only a god uh, would do. Now Alexa can do it, and there are the smartphone. So the fusion of artificial intelligence and IoT will be the requirement. Similarly, for the street lighting, uh, the LED manufacturer now using the every nano lumen, and in the luminian manufacturer using, so optics will be very, very important, or optics, how optics control the light, how uniformly indoor or outdoor, and comfort of the light, how it advances the light, how it colors, and efficiency. So, optics distribution control and how it is used in the lighting design will be an issue. And this is one of the interesting example where the different type of the lighting has been used, and you can see the same person, the face has changed. So light pollution will be equally important, and this will be the part of the thing, and the bug rating which control this thing will be important. And positive distraction, what I have mentioned to this one, when a person go to the hospital, he gets scared. Now changing the lighting can create a positive distraction, and then testing will be more real and shorter. Also, marketing will be the part of this course to address that issue. With this, I will close and thank you for that. And if you have any question, either at the end or depending upon this one, that we can address that issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Satyavrat Chakravarti. In a short time, I know time was very less, but in a short time, you have made the complete lighting perspective that how light affects the whole of our life, starting from our when we get up or when we go to the bed. So in every sphere, lighting is important, and then unless it is properly designed and implemented, I think we cannot enjoy the life. Thank you very much for your nice presentation. Now we move to the next speaker, Mr. Sudhir Patel, who is IoT expert, and I request him to please express his views about on the subject. Mr. Sudhir Patel.
Let me share my screen. Just to confirm if you all can see the screen.
Is not come. I think it will be coming now.
Is
it
it
not come, Sudhir?
Okay, it is showing. Let me just a minute. It shows that my screen is shared. I'll stop sharing and again reshare.
Please. Yes, it is come now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
you, sir.
Please. Okay.
Okay, good. So thank you, ASSOCHAM, for this opportunity, and more importantly, I really like the initiative taken by ASSOCHAM on spreading an awareness about the most important need of the hour, which is spreading an awareness about the requirement or need of a formal education in the lighting. Right, and more so ever, Mr. Chakraborty sir has already explained, in fact, all the aspects what lighting really covers, right from the application, designs, various softwares, the importance of design, and also technology. He did touch upon the IoT and the recent applications, right, in terms of AI, human-centric lighting, etc. So I think sir has really raised the a bar ahead on the presentation, and now I think I will quickly focus on the technology part, on how these such applications can be implemented, right? So sir has already created a need for such kind of application. He has already explained and emphasized the importance on all those aspects. What I'm going to do is I'm going to touch upon the very basic things, like why do we need smart and intelligent lighting, how one can achieve this, and what really does it mean. And all this, see, this is not really in a context of IoT. What is IoT? My whole attempt here is to let everyone know what is happening around us as far as lighting as a domain is concerned from the window of IoT. And in that context, why a formal education in lighting is important, because we all are know, right? Even if we take certain key messages from the earlier presenter, I'm sure most of the attendees might have heard many new terms. Most of these things are not part of our regular curriculums. But believe me, these are the buzzwords which are going to be part of every design going forward. And hence, probably there is an immense emphasis on the need of a formal education in lighting. So with this, I'll quickly move on. Just to confirm, you're able to see the next slide. Can someone confirm?
Mr. Sudhir Patel, your voice is breaking.
Okay, just a minute. Am I audible, sir?
Now it is correct. Please.
Okay, thank you. And the next slide is there, right? It says why.
Yes, it is there.
Okay, great. Good. So as I said, the whole thing is why. Why do we need a smart lighting or intelligent lighting, right? Earlier, if you go back a decade ago, a light was a light, and as Barjata sir started, lighting is taken lightly. Was the scenario then, wherein the only and the sole purpose of illumination was to make the space illuminated. But if you refer to the earlier presentation, I'm sure you can connect all these dots. It's no more light is just a source of illumination. It also brings a lot of benefits, whether it is a health and well-being, whether it is a productivity, whether it is a aesthetics, right? And that's where it becomes more important to understand the role technology, that is Internet of Things, smart and connected lighting, is going to play. And here are certain numbers which will make us believe, and this is very recent study, and I was also part of this study done by Frost and Civilian, specifically from the markets of Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam and India. And these numbers are phenomenal. If you look at the growth, this number talks a lot, and that is also one of the biggest trigger why we all should take Internet of Things and the technology and the smart and connected lighting seriously. Moving on, then question becomes, okay, we talked about smart lighting, we talked about IoT, but what is this, right? And how this can be really achieved. And before I really talk about it, I would like to bust a few myths. I believe most of the times we refer smart lighting means, okay, we have occupancy sensor in our bathroom or in our room. The moment we enter, light is switched on, and that is a smart lighting. Okay, I can take that, but not really intelligent. Then nowadays we talk about our apps, right? Just using my mobile app to switch on and off the light. That's right. All these examples are good from the comfort point of view, but are they really smart? Are they really intelligent, or there is something more? And let's look at it. So in my this is my small attempt to make this whole thing very simple. So what I did, I tried defining what does really smart means in terms of a lighting. And the first S of a smart means a sustainable. And that's where the need of our from our climatic changes point of view, right? So there used to be a debate that, okay, if you're talking about lighting controls and automation, but how much energy we are going to save against the money which we need to invest. I think now I think the focus has to be changed. It's not about just saving the money out of those energy savings, but it's also contributing to the sustainability. And that's where a question comes in. When we are saying our lighting is smart, is this really a sustainable? Obviously money. Who don't want savings, right? But by making it smart, are we able to really show the sizable energy savings and in terms money or operational costs saved? Is it really adaptable? And when I'm saying adaptable, what I mean is that is it flexible enough to adapt to various changes, or various requirements which may change from time to time. Obviously, just having a intelligent and smart setup or a system will not work unless it is reliable and it can work on its own, and hence reliable. And most importantly, the T stands for transformation. Is this really help us to transform and achieve all our purposes? Right? So when all this SMART brings together, I feel the real purpose of making our lighting intelligent and smart is being defined. And this will help us to really identify ways and means to create the meaningful application which Sir has already spoken about. And I'm going to touch upon some of them here, but I will definitely not get into the details of it. But like when we talk about smart or connected lighting, right, these are some of the real-time examples when it comes to connected lighting. Now when I'm saying connected lighting, no more lighting is only independent lighting controls and automation. Now you have enterprises or the systems where you want a single system which can take care of not just lighting but also your HVAC, electrical utilities, right, fire and safety alarms, etc., interoperating with each other, sharing data with each other, and creating a meaningful application. And as I said, those application has to be linked with the smart what we just discussed. Another interesting thing which I would like to really discuss is dynamic daylight harvesting. Like if we refer some of the slides from the earlier presentation, either from the factory setup or office, right? Most of the architects or the designers today are designing the spaces in such a fashion that we should have maximum natural resources, right? In terms of ventilation, in terms of light, and of course taking care of the glare. But are we really making use of the available natural sunlight? And how? Maybe making a real use of dynamic daylight harvesting, wherein we control the intensity of the artificial lights based on the already available light. And here comes the sensor. So imagine you have a sensor which is continuously monitoring the available light levels there, and depending on the set points, it automatically either reduce or increase the intensity. And when there is enough light which is more than the desired one, your lights are switched off. Imagine how much energy can be saved, specifically in industrial scenarios, specifically in large offices where tons of electrical lighting load is being utilized. But most importantly, there is also another angle to this, which is maintaining the constant lux. Because as we all are aware, even as the lesser light levels are harmful for us, even the higher light levels are very much harmful to us. So such kind of technologies and the applications can help not only to save the electrical energy required for illumination, but also to maintain the right light at right time at right place by maintaining the constant lux irrespective of the time of the day. And again, human-centric lighting, obviously I'll not get into much details to it, as Sir has already mentioned to it. This is a rough schematic which I already talked about, how the systems today are in place in large factories, large offices, where each and every communicable system in the building is talking with each other, sharing data with each other, and helping to automate as well as reduce the operational expenditure by bringing certain aspects like predictive analytics. So using the today's technology, one can really predict what is the remaining life of my light fixture in the building. Right? We may not really link this so important, but imagine the light fixture fitted in the factory, wherein light is most important from the safety point of view, and even a single light fixture is not working, my entire assembly line can go on halt. And that's where the importance of predictive analytics comes into handy, so that maintenance team can really replace those lights even before waiting for them to fail. Something important, like if there is a failure, nobody has to go and update it to the maintenance team. The intelligent system can automatically inform and intimate to all the concerned stakeholders, either on a dashboard or through email alerts or SMS or WhatsApp, whatever that mean be. Right. So these are some of the aspects I know within available short span of time will not be able to cover. But my intention is to just highlight certain important aspects which technology can bring in today. This is what I just talked about. So a small animation to just prove my point, how lux measuring sensors can be effectively used to make use of your daylight available in the premises and reduce the load on the lighting energy, right? These are some of the examples of the real-time applications which are used in the market today, wherein one can literally monitor each and every light fixture status sitting at the command station. And not just monitor, if required, they can take a manual control, switch it off, switch it on. This is what I was talking about. You can set the desired lux, and accordingly, automatically my light fixture will get tuned to deliver that. Data analytics, I talked about this, measuring the available light levels. This is what I did mention about the failures, right? So how one can use, or how one can make use of available technology for a purposeful application is what your smart, connected, or intelligent, whatever you want to call it as. As I said, like, there are enough things to be spoken here, but my attempt was to just highlight some of the important aspects. And to connect the dot now, friends, if you relate again to this presentation, right? I'm sure this is not just a plain lighting design. One need to consider a lot of technological aspects about connectivity, about interoperability, about data, security, and that's where a formal education, even in terms of a technology, comes really handy and important in today's aspects. So with this, I'll take a pause or maybe stop for my presentation time, and I'll take a time question if we have time now, or maybe we can take it later.
Thank you, Mr. Sudhir, for your nice presentation. And then, of course, you have tried to emphasize that on one hand, light, of course, as you say, is taken lightly, but on the one hand, Mr. Chakravarti nicely presented in his presentation how light is important from the so many factors, safety, comfort, and all that. And you have tried to put that, yes, how that can be achieved with the help of IoT or the control. Because earlier the time when everyone you have to get up and switch on and switch off the lights, but now the time has gone, and the lighting technology today covers a lot of things about this IoT or the remote control. So thank you very much, Mr. Sudhir, for projecting nicely. After this, now we come further to the now creativity of lighting. What is creativity? Means how light can be made it to feel and provide comfort in our life. So for that purpose, I invite Mr. Abhijit Salunke, who is the lighting designer. Mr. Abhijit Salunke. Yes, please.
Yeah. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, Dr. Patel, and thank you, ASSOCHAM, for giving this opportunity. And actually, I'm very happy because, like, I'm here in this lighting for last 20 years, but lighting at such an education is not in, great condition. Like, people don't want to come in lighting for many more reasons. But mainly what I think is it has not been able to prove its value addition. So I hope these sessions, and with the support of everybody, we start to a beginning. Yeah, I'll start with my presentation.
Yes, please.
Hi.
Yes,
Can you see this, sir?
yes, visual. Please carry on.
Yeah. So, like Dr. Pajatya sir told, basically, for the last 20 years, I'm working in lighting and more now in creative lighting. So before we going ahead, like there are a lot of participants who may be new to lighting, some are experienced. Like when we talk about lighting, the thing comes like we have to see these things, because see, if we have a vision, then everything is you experience. So this vision is through a part of body what we call as eye. So basic diagram of eye. So like this is the iris which holds the pupil. This pupil controls the amount of light. Then there is the lens which reflects the lights in the center of the retina, where the fovea, where it is more sharp. And this light energy is converted into electromagnetic energy through the optic nerve, and then it goes to the brain. And this is that part of the brain where you actually perceive things. So there is one thing, like this eye is like, you can see an information box. It takes the information, but what you make out of the information is up to the brain. So when you do lighting, this is a very important aspect we have to consider. Now, there is this wide electromagnetic spectrum, and as a lighting designer, you have a small thing like from 380 to 770 nanometer in which we work basically. So there are other electromagnetic frequencies like ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays, infrared, and these have got a wide applications. So if you talk about electromagnetic spectrum, it has got a wide application. Now we are talking about a visible spectrum, so that is 380 to 790 nanometer. So I basically work in recreation lighting design. So recreational is what it is, not entertainment, it is not amusement. Recreational is basically a lighting which is comforting, which is relaxing, and which creates a desired ambience, whatever be the location. It may be a residence, it may be a restaurant, it may be a hotel, it may be a park. So like Manka Ranjan, that is the right word if I could say. So this is what is recreational lighting design. Now, we all live in a constantly evolving environment, and because of this digital era, it is getting more chaotic, more confusing. And the one factor that drives us to look for the day, like when I wake up, everybody looks up with enthusiasm, is the sense of wonderment, a sense of puzzle. One wants to explore with excitement, and that is what everyone looks for. So this factor is again very important when you do any design, be it lighting design, architectural design, interior design, product design. You have to give something unique, something new to the client, to the customer, so that he takes a different experience with it. For me, lighting design is about integrating the space where we live, where we work, the art which is around us, the sound which are into that space. Videos. I mean, it can be anything. Like it can be a television, it can be a home theater, it can be a laptop screen, your mobile screen, and the food, the aroma. Because see, this counts everything. And integrate this with whom? Integrate with people, because for whom we do lighting is that is for the people. Creating emotions. See, this is again a very important aspect of lighting as a design. I have to drive emotions which are suitable for the time, which are suitable in that space. And what is the experience I'm looking for? If you ask me, I'm looking, whenever I do a project, I look for a magical experience. Now, we see. There are two aspects of lighting. One is the seeing aspect. So if you see, this is a kitchen, you see everything in crystal clear sharpness. There's a direct lighting, indirect lighting, which has got a purpose. This is one of a project. So what you see is what is there. Second aspect of lighting is we perceive. Now, this is a very important aspect. Now, if I don't reveal it, you'll not know what is the space. But what happens is that when you see this, you start to perceive it. Now, it is not about seeing, it is about perceiving it, because you don't have a surety about what the space is, where it is. what is in between that. So this is a very important aspect of that. It makes you perceive. All the beauty of life is made up of light and shadow. Leo Tolstoy. Every time we say light, 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 but we forget as important as light, it is as important as the darkness which it creates. So light and shadows are a very important aspect when you do a design. I mean, if you just have light, it will be very flat, monotonous, very non-emotional thing. So shadows are a very important aspect of your design. So when I do a lighting design, I have a light story. Any project, be it indoor, outdoor, any size, I always try to put a story into it. And how does a story come into that? I see where the place is located, what is the location, what is the theme of that space which is being designed, then what are the people, what are their needs, what is their cultural background, what is the liking, what is the profession, what do they aspire for. So, and then I have my own imagination. So this is how what we do a light story. So this project we did for a forging company. So now if you understand, like when you, this was a facade lighting project we did for a forging company. So when we were asked to do it, I had to go to a brief research, like what is the company, or what does it do, what are the customers, and how is the production line. So what I got was that basically what is forging? Forging is you take a raw material like iron, which has got a very low value. You melt it with the desired temperature, and then you give it a form, different shape, and you increase that value. So from low value, you create a product of high value. So that is what a story I got it. So it has got a new shape, a new form, a new identity. So if you see forging, the second aspect, it is what is heat, temperature. And what is heat and temperature? It has got colors. So what are those colors? It goes from warm red to ocean blue. The more it blues, the more the temperature rises. So again, this was a very integral information about the project. This was the facade. So normally today's facade are the basic civil work, and then they are camouflaged with different materials. So here it was camouflaged with a wooden wheel, and I had a story to tell about the color, temperature, and about the forging. So we had this interactive lighting which changed very subtly. So what was the crux of this? The crux was the emotions, what I wanted to convey. So in a lighting design project, when you are assigned a project, you have to understand what is the emotions I'm looking for it, be it a restaurant, residence, or anything. Each project has a defined emotions attached to. So if it may be a amusement park, it will be some different emotions. If it is an office, it will have a different emotion. But emotions are there. Emotions are integral of human being, and in lighting, you have to convey that. So if you know in our own Indian context, there are 9 bhavs, which is called as Navrasas, and everything is in between these Navrasas. There is nothing external. So whatever you emote as a human being, it is part of this Navrasas. So, for example, if I take a rasa, that is a raudra, what is the sentiment? It is fury. So, what is the bhav? That is growth. And what is the state of mind? So this is important. How is the state of mind? Anger. So, the state of mind counts very much. So, how do I create different moods? Now, moods are a fine nuances of these bhavs. So, there can be a spiritual mood, a cozy mood, a romantic mood, a mystic mood, a joyous, bewildered, calm. Now, how do you take it to your project, to your site? This one project we did, this was a landscape thing, and we added a fine nuance of ambience of haunting basically. So, and mind well, you have to have a very subtle thing. You don't you don't go overboard when you say haunting. You have to have a fine nuance. So, because people are going to accustom it and people are going to use it. Enchanting. Now, this is a township project we did. We wanted to create something where people enjoy their nighttime duration when they walk through the passages, when they go on the lawn. But more importantly, these are towers of 12 floors plus. So what I wanted was when people are on their respective balconies and when they look down, they should enjoy the ambience over there. So normally when you do lighting, we just think about how do you highlight a building. But irrespective of that, we should always think about how the landscape will look to them. Will it be comforting? Will it be relaxing? Will it be enchanting? So this is some sort of a enchanting mood we created. This is again a clubhouse, and in this, because this was a simple structure, but it had something gothic feel. So we created a magical look to it, and the warm and blues, separated it. It expanded the building, and again, because the blues were on the top, it connected to the sky. Now, this was a temple in a private place, so I wanted to give it a surreal look where it is very, because a temple is very a personal experience. For me, it's a very personal experience. So, I wanted to create a very personal feel experience to it where people can go to a meditative state. So that meditative aspect was very important into this. Applications. Now we move to the main because we are into lighting education. As the student comes and he may ask a question like, what is lighting and what are the applications? Because most of us are very confused. Lighting is to everywhere, but still, what are the applications? So first, where I work most is basically the architecture. Architecture is basically where we live, where we work, where we enjoy. And here lighting plays an important role in terms of the interior lighting and the exterior lighting. And as I said, as per the space, now this was a classical space, the earlier one was a modern space. So you have to create a mood which goes through the space, and secondly, which connects to the users, their profile, their way of lifestyle. This is IT park. This is a landscape. Now, amusement park. Now, amusement parks are something where you have to go over the board, because this is where people come to, have their time, spend their time. But, it should be very vibrating. It should be colorful, and it should be the theme. And it should be something which has not been experienced in the real world. So you take them to a world which they have not only experienced, but which gives them a new experience. Cinema. This is actually where I have worked also. Like I have worked in theater, I have worked in cinema, I have worked in photography. So this bit of things comes from me. Cinema is one of my favorite. Like this is one of the Alfred Hitchcock's movies. I'll tell you how lighting beautifully creates a mood. Like it's a shot where there is a villain who is going to stab a lady. So in that, the villain is in backlit, and the lady who's going to be stabbed is in front lit. So, and the stabbing shot is the first shot, and the lady's cry is the second shot. So you don't know who the villain is. It's a mystery and it's the fear. And when the lady is front lit, she's in some danger. So it's a very beautiful act of lighting, apart from sound and other things. But this is how lighting is used to create a moment, to create an impact. This is again from a movie Citizen Kane, a very good movie. And here lighting, creates that tension. So a strong ray of light was dropped on the table. And if you see the person, one is back to you, another in his front, and there is something. So it creates the importance to this aspect, what is he holding. This is again one of the best science fiction movies. And if you see through light, it's a romantic scene plus something where, the hero is going on a mission. So the light shaft is through the lures. So it creates a contrast. So it's both romantic and it's more saddening also. So, both the impacts has been created through lighting. This is the all-time favorite Godfather. If you see, in this movie, there only one tone that was warm to reddish tone, and there was no other lights. It was one tone in which they carried on the movie, and it was balanced by the same sound, but it created impact. This again, if you see why they have used this green, actually there is no green color, but the tiles are green. But green connects everything. So if you have to connect something and very strongly, then you use the colors basically. And light and sound shows. Light and sound shows connect you to history. But instead of me telling something from the textbook and repeating something, it may become boring. So, light and sound shows a very good thing to convey the history which you have long forgotten or which we don't know. And this is conveyed through in real structures by use of light and shadows basically. Second, light and shows are for basically amusement, where you can do it on water fountains, heritage buildings. Then museum. Museum lighting is again, it's about conveying the historical facts. And if you want to convey some historical facts, again, you have to make it very engrossing for the people to stand there and read it. So again, there are two aspects to it. One it has to be dramatic. Secondly, it has to be a utility point. You should be able to clearly see it, clearly view it. Then comes photography. Photography is sensual, dramatic, and lighting plays a very important role in photography. Theater, again, one of my favorite. Again, like this is a play regarding mathematics. And here, if you see in theater, what happens is that lighting does a lot of things. First, in one space, because theater is in one space, you can show different spaces, like somebody can be in India and somebody can be in London. Secondly, you can create characterizations. And third, you can shift the seasons also, the day of, like it's evening or night. So that is what lighting does in theater. So it's like fog time. So if you see, it's fog time here. Yeah, again, lighting is used very beautifully. It doesn't highlight the characters, but it creates a silhouette, and that becomes much more dramatic. Event lighting. Now, corporate events, wedding events, and other social events. So the main purpose of the event is it has to be vibrating. It has to create an impact, and for that, colors, the direction of lights is very important. And yeah, this has to balance with sound, so it creates an impact. Again, there are festival events. Like you have in US Halloween festival, something. So again, the light plays a very important role into it. There's some musical events. Music and lights play a very important role to create that thrilling effect. Now, painting. In painting, though you are not concerned with lighting, but when you are an artist, you should understand how light creates an impact. So this is Jerry O'Derry painting, very famous painting. This is a professor and he's working on a solar system, and this is the assistant, and these are his children, students. So if you see how light plays a very important role, firstly, the darkness, as a rule in lighting, darkness is very important. Darkness envelops the space, so you don't know what is outside the space. Secondly, you see the characterization of each. The professor, if you see his interest, like what is going to happen, student who's taking the notes down, these other students who again are inquisitive about what is happening, and the children who are enjoying this space. And the third thing is the positioning of the solar system. So again, as an artist, lighting plays a very important role to connect the right emotions. So friends, what is the main aspect of design? Imagination. In lighting, imagination is of utmost importance. It is not what you see, but what you can create. And so what is the purpose of the design? create an experience. And how should be the experience? Magical. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Abhijit. You have taken us around the all spectrum of light. Now light, if we see, which only not is illumination, but it is different aspects of light, even 9 rasas and all that. You try to link the different our activities of the life. Now listening to all these 3 speakers, experts in their own areas. Now we move to our next speaker, Dr. Milind Pandey, who is very passionate about the lighting. And now let us listen from him that how he looks lighting as a education and what can be done just to impart the education, so that I think by now you must have seen that lighting is not just a simple switch on and off, and not only the bulb and the tube light, but it is much more than that. And that's why there is a need of formal education in the country. And for that we invite Dr. Milind Pandey, who is the Pro Vice Chancellor of MIT World Peace University, to share his views, how it looks lighting as per se, and then how it can help the industry and everybody for that purpose. So over to Dr. Milind Pandey.
So very good evening to you, every one of you. Am I audible, Dr. Prakash Barjatya, sir?
Yes, please. It's audible. Please go on.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I was very patiently listening to your good self, Dr. Prakash Barjatya, then Mr. Chakravarti, then Engineer Sudhir Patel, and Mr. Abhijit Salunke. While running this lighting education program in the very reputed university like MIT, it's my open invitation for all the 3 panel members and you as a moderator. It's open invitation to be the part of our advisory board. I gained a lot of things, a different perspective, how this lighting education can be taken to the deep rooted rural colleges in India. There are hardly few institutions, those who are offering the lighting education. Lighting education, let me share, when we announced this lighting education in the MIT in Pune, many mandap contractors, they called कि MIT ने lighting क्या शुरू कर दिया. So awareness is lacking very much. So let me tell you, before I start, हम किसी भी प्रोग्राम का शुभारंभ ही दीप प्रज्वलन से करते हैं ना. Nowadays our national education policy coming up, it's all sensitization to the all higher educational institutions with the new educational policy, which is majorly speaking about the Indian knowledge system also. And if you go back what happened previously, जो भारत का definition है वही different है. The Bharat, Bha mane Prakash, one is the Surya Prakash, Jivan Prakash, and second is Gyan Prakash. So Bha means Gyan Prakash. Gyan Prakash mein Rath, that is Bharat. Even the definition of the Bharat is Gyan Prakash ki, to light ki baat hum log kar rahe the. Secondly, yesterday only we understood the importance of light. Deep Amavas, jisko kaha jata hai. You concentrate onto the flame of it and you will enlighten yourself and so many things. So that is what now the national education policy is majorly focusing on, the integration of the Indian knowledge system, what was there anciently. So I will be discussing about this education perspective of the lighting education. So if your head could be turned into electricity, it would light up the whole world. That is what how we started. Then I will be just give me another second. I will be going through my presentation. Yeah.
It is there.
Yeah. Mm. So this is the potential for lighting education in India. I will be discussing on this. So basically, these are uh, the market, like the consumer market, the luminaries, domestic, functional, decorative, lifestyle, scene setting luminaries. All my co-speakers, they discussed about it. Then B2B market, the controls and luminaries. And if you see the B2B market, there's enjoying the market share of 42.39, whether the consumer market is 57.6%. But the Indian LED lighting market reached a value of $2.5 billion. While speaking about this manufacturing, let me tell you, no R&D to design India-centric products till the date. All the LED cheap packaging, we are 100% imported. Not only that, the 30 to 35% manufacturing in India and rest in China till the date. Though we are talking in digital India and zero import and everything, but still in lighting. And if we do this zero import, of course, the make in India and the job opportunities will be more. And even this entire universities, we are focusing on to the startup culture, the startup nurseries. It has been popularly said in those days gone where the student used to take the admissions on the basis of percentage, then how many companies are coming into the campus in 2010 and now 2020, how many startups are graduating. And there is a large scope if we can do the startup activity or hackathon in lighting. That is what in our university, in MIT University, on the large basis, we are conducting the hackathons for the engineering as well as non-engineering students. I remember when Prime Minister Modi said the IT plus IT is equal to IT. बड़ा चमत्कारिक लगा था ये कि why he is telling 2 plus 2 is equal to 2. But when he said the innovative technologies plus Indian talent is equal to India tomorrow. If you would like to build the India tomorrow, this innovation has to be cultivated into the mindset of students, and then it will give a rise to the Make in India, Stand Up India, Startup India, and so many the opportunities are waiting for the youth to practice it. And that is what the role of education or the university. Universalization of the mind is university. And what we want in this current education when we are talking of the startups is the innovation in head, compassion in heart, and passion in belly. If we can imbibe this innovation culture like mind to market, then paper to product, and from idea to actually how the idea can be taken into the final development. So these are the cultures, and I can see the lighting. When we started this lighting education, we can see the ray, the hope, the light, where this university can progress or the education can progress fast. If you see the organized market and unorganized market, these are again the unorganic market in lighting till the date enjoying the largest share of 35%. The Philips 30%, Bajaj, Crompton Greaves. I remember when we launched this program, the Rajesh Kochar came and inaugurated when he was in Philips or Wipro. That time he was in Wipro, and Manoj Vermaji came from the Crompton Greaves when we first time launched this lighting education program under the leadership of Dr. Prakash Barjatia in way back in 2006-2007. So this is the basis of segmentation. If you see the lighting market is majorly divided into three: B2B, B2G, B2C. And all these has been discussed by the co-speakers. But when it is B2G, even I remember the lighting education where the BEE, Bureau of Energy Efficiency, then energy officers, then energy auditors, I'm talking of lighting and energy. That was the course we have started. But this lighting market is basically into B2C, the residential, indoor, outdoor, and the hospital, airports, transportation, the mall lighting, and so many has been discussed before. But this is types of lighting. Ambient lighting, task lighting. I don't want to get it again, the repetition of it, but then this has been very well covered. The broad divisions of lighting fixtures by the luminaries and by the light sources and the various market leaders in different segments. And those, they are the companies, those are looking for the finished products. That is the students like Philips, Bajaj, Crompton Greaves, Wipro, Havells, Surya. So these are the lighting fixtures, and this is the need of lighting education. I was saying in the beginning, the lack of awareness. Maybe we are still in the mindsets, the parents in the mindsets कि नहीं वो engineering ही चाहिए. Trust me, this is the university with more than in the group. It's a 80 institutions, 6 universities, more than 82,000 students. But what is happening today? All the parents are coming. Computer chahiye, computer chahiye, computer chahiye, as if there are no branches existing in this world. I don't understand why it is happening. The way the 5G is getting launched, the electronics, the electrical, lighting, so many courses are there. The liberal arts, fine arts, BBA. The entire focus of the parents is on computer science, computer science, computer science. So this lack of awareness is there, and the time has come where every one of us in this lighting fraternity must make the awareness amongst the parents. So the various aspects of lighting, then to understand the energy efficient light sources, the pollution due to light. I was in Dubai, and I was understanding first time in the 2011 till I heard this word, the light pollution in Dubai. Then all those pollution due to use of inefficient industry requirement, employment opportunity, socio-economic impact, so many things. So this is the need of a lighting education in India. And let me tell you the 4 trends. But before that, I was going through this, the LIDAR, that is LIDAR, that is the light detection and ranging. This is the way this is coming, the Li-Fi. The Li-Fi, the lighting fidelity, light to transmit data, the competition to the Wi-Fi. It has its own advantages, disadvantages, the cost involved into it, restricted into room. But then Li-Fi has a future. And not only that, the Li-Fi that is for IoT. It's again, my friends spoke on to the IoT and lighting, the Li-Fi and IoT, the Li-Fi and security, the Li-Fi and artificial intelligence, the applications in medicines, then the weather forecasting, the healthcare, and the Neuralink. So many, the lighting fidelity, that is something the upcoming LiDAR is upcoming. And then these are the 4 trends. The artificial intelligence, which just I discussed. It is the mobile devices and miniature 3D sensing and imaging the solutions for robotic surgery and applications. This is the LiDAR market, which just now I spoke, the autonomous cars, the well-known application for LiDAR technology that has been used in healthcare, defense, aerospace. These are the futures. Then chip manufacturing. This is the painful area for all of us. Even in the chip manufacturing, I was making the LED chip manufacturing, again the 100% imported. So this is something we can think of. The US chip manufacturing is dominating. Then directly modulated lasers at higher speed. This is what we need. The optoelectronics industry has managed to incorporate directly modulated lasers for the 100G and 200G performance and so many things. So currently the Institute of Electronics, Electric Light Sources, that is there in Fudan University in China. Then there are the Jadavpur University, the School of Illumination, Science, Engineering and Design, then the 2 years PG program in illumination engineering, then undergraduate level. But there is no direct program in per se lighting. We are talking of illumination, but we are not talking of the lighting. The Manipal University is also the MTech program in energy management and undergraduate program. But here in this university, with the help of ISLE, with the help of ELCOMA, we could able to start the first ever institute for lighting education. It was the PGP in lighting technology management. That is what the program we started. And again, now this time we are particularly focusing on the industry professionals to come and join this online program. So again, while discussing about the other aspects of it, SP College, then Rodrigues Institute, Calcutta University, these are the courses, then certificate courses in lighting from the ISLE itself, the ILA, Goenka Institute, number of courses in lighting design by this. But per se, the focused program is required for the lighting professionals and for the students also to crack the job opportunities or to be the entrepreneur in this. This is the global scenario. Since we are talking of the lighting education, lighting perspective, the LRC USA, the very famous, the Fudan, just now I mentioned, then Sweden, Dr. Barjatia, surprisingly, हमारे Dr. Barjatia, he is the first ever doctorate in lighting education in India. We always used to call him the father of lighting, who is always focusing to create that awareness amongst the students, not only of India, but the foreign nationals also, the Australia, Germany. So this is the 1-year program, the Advanced Diploma in Lighting Technology and Management, and this I was mentioning about this. So we are, just to percolate this, we are arranging the various hackathons to challenge the mindset of the students. How this, so we are taking the problem statements from the industry. We are giving it to the students. Before that, we are doing some capacity building workshop for the students, for the faculties, how they can take up, how they can prepare the business plan. This is all the transforming the teaching university into the innovation university, and that is the need of the hour. And that is what these universities, the many universities, they are preparing as the research university, as the innovation university. This hackathon we are conducting, and my proposal to all of you, all my listeners, all my friends, please participate in this lighting hackathon, the first ever. The terminology we are coming up, including all the lighting industry, lighting professionals, will be giving the problem statement to the students, inviting the solutions in a group, and the entire funding will be managed by the MIT World Peace University. So this is what we are doing in this. And let me conclude. ये तो घोष साहब का है, लेकिन हम हमेशा बोलते हैं कि जोत से जोत जगाते चलो, ज्ञान की गंगा बहाते चलो. So please come and contribute in shaping the future of the budding engineers, budding managers, and budding lighting professionals. Welcome you all. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Prakash Barjatya and ASSOCHAM, for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Milind Pandey, for giving an overview about the education and its relevant activities. Not only you also definitely mentioned about the national education policy, which is very much important, and there also they are giving much more emphasis on the skill development. So this is what the basic idea, and with that definitely I think we have heard Dr. Milind Pandey on the different aspects. Now, before we go for the conclusion and for the different views of the speakers, is there any question in the chat box? I think if we can take up, Professor Rath.
So there are few questions. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Prakash ji, for conducting this session. So there are a few questions, sir. Just before concluding, I would like to ask. Few people asked it here. One is regarding the links for the for all the sessions for all the courses that all the delegates talked about. So people are interested in knowing the knowing the links about it. Khas karke when there was Milinji's session was going on, someone was asking about giving to know about the link. So if you can give it in that chat box, sir, it would be a privilege. And there is one questions that let me open my WhatsApp. It's there only. Yes, sir. So there is one question from Bami Krishna ji. That is there any energy saving device for LED light fixture installations? And I think Milinji would be able to answer these questions because he was talking about lighting fixtures installations and all the efficiencies. And if you can, yeah.
Yes, sir. Can you just please repeat the question again, sir?
So the question was, is there any energy saving device for LED light fixture installations or something like that?
Yes, sir. That is there. That is there.
And how much how much savings we can expect, and what is the is there any in terms of potential for marketing and in terms of costing, how is it the market?
Let me be very diplomatic in this. This is the product under the MIT TBI Technology Business Incubator. The product is incubating by the faculty-led startup within the MIT. I will not disclose right now, but then I will write and I will share the document on it. But there is a independent research work going on for this. That much I can say right now, to my knowledge. But my other friends can certainly comment on it.
Yeah, sure. If anyone wants to talk about
Mr. Sudhir Patel can take up this.
Yeah, sure. Sudhirji, you're on mute, I guess.
I'm just trying to understand the context so that I'm right in responding of the question, because when we talk about measurement can be in different aspects. So are we referring here that if I hello, am I audible?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
If we have a light or illumination, is there a way we can measure the savings out of the lighting or any such application? So just to be clear, if someone can explain this context, that will be good.
The questioner didn't said about the context. Is just a question that is there any saving device or not? I mean that was the question about. If you can elaborate something else.
Yeah, in fact, in that case, it can be very generic answer. That obviously there are technologies available which can be used to make it possible, right? So, in the context which I was referring to, yes, I already referred to something called daylight harvesting, right? So one can use and reduce the dependence on artificial lights, but it's not just a subjective one. You can also actually measure. So I'll give example. There are ways and means we can actually measure the light on hours. How many hours my light fixtures are on, right? Now this data, since it is available, we can go to the level where we can actually calculate the energy consumed by that light.
Right. Energy
so
modeling kind of.
We can also prove objectively that these technologies, these systems are actually saving the energy.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And there is one question I would like any one of you to can take that, because this is a question which is very interesting. There is Manjuji is asking that can commerce students, why commerce students, any kind of discipline which is not related to engineering or science, can they take lighting courses? Can they understand it, the integrities of it, and is there any scope in their career in terms of lighting courses? Yeah. Sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There is no bar or there is no commerce, economics, science. They can take admissions to this lighting education. There are bridge courses where we can update them before we start the actual program. About the basics of physics, which they learned in 8, 9, 10, that is sufficient. If they learn the physics in their 8, 9, 10, that is sufficient for us to groom them further. So it doesn't matter the commerce, economics.
That's good to know, sir.
I would like to add here. I would like to add. because it's not a question in this context, but like generally that light education is only for engineers or architects for that matter who are designing.
Your voice
Voice is cracking, yeah.
breaking. Yes, yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah,
Am I audible now?
Now it's
Now
audible.
fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, yes.
Okay. I'll directly refer to a particular question where somebody from commerce background is coming up, right? Now, see, there can be a different roles in the industry. And one of the important role is taking this product and solution in the market. And that's from the sales and marketing point of view, right? So what it requires is technology application related to the audience. And I believe none other than commerce students can do it because they are much more connected to that. So I think on those days where we used to have silos and segments based on our degrees.
Just to complement his answer, sir, very rightly said, very aptly said, the lighting industry needs the sales managers, the sales officer, and everything. So, but what they need, the basic knowledge of lighting to market that product, and that is what we will be taking care of, the basics of the lighting. That is even in the first year, first semester, that is the subject, basics of lighting, and then the commerce students can take it up further to market the product, lighting products.
Okay, now what I can conceive is that you're talking about the lighting design, but khali lighting design, there is a technical part, but as for that, there is a commercial part, there is a
Correct.
sales and marketing. And so, yeah, and for that basic level, everybody needs to know that. For example, I'm a mechanical engineer guy. If I know about filter and if I get MBA, then I can go and do that, sell that product, like that kind of thing.
Correct.
And yes, sir. Or khali technical part nahi hai, there are a lot of other things that Abhijit ji also talking about the shadow analysis and how the lighting can make something beautiful and something like, larger than life. And Satyavata ji was also talking about different kinds of concepts and nomenclatures around it. So it's a very vast field. All the participants, lighting is not only about technical or not about, like Prakash ji said, on and off. It's a very vast field. Even we do not know. Maybe lighting designers, like all the delegates know, but I myself even don't. I'm not aware of all the aspects of lighting, even though we are using in this field. So very well adapted, very well apt sessions, I can say. Everything, all of the things compiled into one package, and all of us will be definitely benefit from it. So before there is one question about landscape lighting. Is it also a part of the design? I mean, somebody was asking in the participant, landscape lighting, like landscape design and all. I mean, external lighting, I can say, or maybe street lighting. Is it also part of these courses?
I think Abhijit Salunke can reply it. Abhijit?
Yeah. Actually, when we say lighting, in terms of it has got a basic philosophy.
Your voice is not heard. Abhijit?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
What
yes,
I'm saying
please.
is, once you have gone through basic lighting fundamentals and understanding the crux of the design, you can do any sort of lighting, be it facade lighting, landscape lighting, interior lighting. The only thing is that every space has got its own beauty, has its own context. You have to understand that. Like now, this question was regarding landscape lighting. So one has to be aware in a very generalized term, like what is landscape, the flora, fauna. So once you understand that, and the second thing then becomes why we do lighting for landscape. Lighting for landscape is basically for two purposes. One is a utility purpose. You walk through it and where you relax through it. And the second is creating a drama. So I think, as I said earlier also, as a lighting designer, you have to understand all the fundamentals and everything. But then once you are into the market, once you start your own thing, you have to use your imaginations. So that second part is very important, and for that you have to experience the world. You have to get exposure to a lot of things from real life. So I think I answered the question.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, what I
Thank
can
you.
gather from your question answer is that lighting is not only subjected to technical things. There are a lot of things, even in exterior or interior or whatever way you can. There are a lot of imaginary articles as well, part of it as well. that you can imagine a world out of it. Like we call it a metaverse when it is going to the virtual world. In that way, you can make a light verse kind of thing. And there are a lot of things we can create out of it. So before we wrap up, Prakashji, if you have anything to say, I have only two things to say, but that will about that I'll talk after your conclusion end. Thanks, sir.
Okay.
Then I can yeah, I have two things to say after that. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Rath. Now, before we conclude or close the session, we'll request all the speakers just to brief about the total discussions and what are their recommendations. Yes, and Mr. Satyavrata Chakravarti, we'll start with Mr. Satyavrata Chakravarti.
Yeah. Can you repeat your question?
No, Mr. Chakravarti, this is what, after discussions by all the four speakers and learned persons, how we see now the potential for lighting education in the country. What should be the approach and how we should go ahead?
Yeah, what I strongly feel, the subject, if you look at India, the subject of lighting has been understood by few, misunderstood by many, ignored by most, but it influences all. This is the situation we are working. So giving the right knowledge to the participants so that lighting will be used more effectively and efficiently and comfortably. So I think the attempt what you are taking, that is the great attempt. And my recommendation is to you that the way the lighting is changing, please look and remodel the structure maybe every year. Because what is true today, tomorrow it may not be true. It may be obsolete. So that updation is required, which is totally missing in the university. The people still go and refer to the old notebook to answer. So it should not happen. I mean, this is the thing that what I do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chakravarti. Now I will move to Mr. Sudhir Patel.
Okay, I'll be quick with a simple anecdotes here. I'm sure every one of us are using various mobile apps, right? Just notice how many times we update our mobile apps, right? And I think there lies the answer. If we are updating those small, minute mobile apps, why can't we think about ourselves? In the same context, I believe we should keep updating ourselves in today's ever-changing world of technology. And in today's topic, lighting, I think it is emerging area, and we must definitely make most out of the available opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sudhir. May I request Mr. Abhijit for his concluding remarks?
Yeah, what I feel is key, unless and until a person feels lighting is creating a value in his life around, he'll not be motivated to go for it. Because see, whatever fields of design we have gone through, everything, it adds some value, and people, when they perceive value, they go for it. So it's by our all collective efforts, if we can create that value addition in some life, I think lighting has got a good future. And secondly, in terms of lighting, we should talk more about its application, like how its application is going to be creating that value. So I think these are the two aspects. If you work on it, that's a good future for lighting.
Thank you, Mr. Abhijit. Lastly, move to Dr. Milind Pandey, the educationalist and academicians, how they look and what efforts are being made by the MIT World Peace University in that direction.
We are many times quoting Swami Vivekananda. He said, "Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached." What is required? The awakening amongst the parents and amongst the youths. That is what the major lacuna. If we educate the students, they will be the future employer or the future employee of the lighting industry and can build the India tomorrow. So let us come together. The complete ecosystem of lighting should start awakening or should start promoting the importance of lighting amongst the people. So let us come together and enlighten the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Milind Pandey. With that, now I think we come to an end. So I hand over to Mr. Rath for his
Thank you, Prakashji, and you conducted this session so well. And we are always privileged when you are there, giving us different kinds of insights into the lighting industry. And here there is one aspect also. Thank you all the speakers that you all gave your time in an evening and tight packed schedule. Thank you everyone for being with us. And we'll carry on. We'll continue to have some kind of more uh, different perspectives throughout through ISLE and ASSOCHAM and GEM. And here I would also like to give two things to participants as well as to our delegates. Sir, there are so ASSOCHAM is linked with BE. We are supporting BE to conduct certain kind of energy efficiency plan, state specific. We call it C program, and this time ASSOCHAM is in doing it for 12 states. So we gave sector survey links that different sectors, and this in the chart box all the sectors are there, all the links are there. If you can, sir, if you can just copy paste and keep it somewhere, and if you can survey give the survey link somewhere, so that your ideas are very much important to us, because we are trying to find the feedback throughout the nations regarding energy efficiency. Maybe it's lighting, maybe it might be different industries, agriculture, or whatever. So you can please give us your feedback. It's in the chart box. And the second thing, sir, that I would like to reiterate is that our Jain complex, so from right now we have started talking about it, that our 5th International Sustainability Conclave Expo and Awards 2023 will be happening on 20 and 21st January 2023. It will be Hotel Taj Mahal, and every year we do in different cities. This time we are doing in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. So that ISLE will also, of course, we will always like ISLE to be a part of it, like we always have, and will continue to be in future. So here we'll come with a lot of insights regarding lighting design, lighting areas, and for that, please stay tuned with us. And whatever way we can contribute, let's do it together. Thank you all the participants for staying with us. Thank you.
So before we conclude, I would like to thank the ASSOCHAM, Mr. Rath, Mr. Rohit, Amit Kumar, Mr. Neeraj for promoting and giving support to the subject of lighting education. I think last 2 years we have conducted about more than 20 programs only on lighting. So this is an opportunity for me. So I must thank ASSOCHAM and the whole team. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Rohit.
Thank you all.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Amit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
So Rohit, we can conclude the session right now. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Subhaji.